Got your black light out, baby. You're looking for your worms.
Looking for them worms.
So people.
Oh, there you go.
Oh wow! Look at there how bright that is. It really shows up. A lot easier to see there than in the daylight. You can't even see them in the day. But using that black light, you can really see them.
There's another one.
Look at there.
Yes, sir.
Boy, they're munchers, aren't they?
Yep. They will decimate a plant in a day. See that one up there?
Wow, I'm amazed how good that black light shows them.
Come to me. Chicken food. Alright, where'd those other two go?
There's one. Boy, they're so easy to spot.
Boy, he's stuck. Yeah, look at that. Chicken food. I ought to save one. Where's that other one?
Yeah, we should save them. Put them in the bucket.
Come back and find that dude. Let's have a step ladder down here. Get on top of these.
Well, it's what, mid-August, and look at how tall those tomato plants are. They've grown a lot.
They are taking over.
They still have quite a few tomatoes on them. You're still getting quite a few off of them.
Little bitty one. Them little bitty ones grow up to be big ones in about a half of a plant.
Well, that sure is a good trick to show everyone, Nick.
It works.
Is that where you usually locate them?
Yeah, at night you'll find them up top, and then early in the morning they'll be at the top of the plant, and then when the sun comes up they'll work their way down in the plant. See if they can find a nice, ripe, juicy tomato and bite on it and ruin it. Start munching on it. Sudden things. Now they can have these cherry tomatoes all they want. Well, you know they don't really eat the cherry tomatoes. The plants. They don't. I don't hardly ever find them on the cherries.
Maybe a different kind of leaf.
Well, they're little, smaller leaves. I'm guessing that has something to do with it. They may not taste as good. Got one there somewhere, but I don't see him. I see where he's been eating.
Yeah, what's another sign you look for?
Well, a telltale sign is if you look at the bottom of your plant and you see these little black nuggets, little round nuggets of their poop. And they put out a lot of poop.
So it's somewhat
so if you see that on the ground, you can look in your plant because there's definitely one there.
So it's like some heavy-duty worm castings, huh?
Definitely. See that moth? I'm not sure which one that is, but that's probably a bad one. It's laying eggs for critters that you don't want in the garden. Can you see me now?
You're funny. It's super nice out tonight. The humidity's down a little.
Be the middle of August. It sure is nice out here. Today it hasn't rained. What, first day in a week that it hasn't rained? And I mean 2 inches a day rain.
Well, that's a real blessing.
But you know,
for mid-August.
I saw on our weather on the map that we're still in a drought. Classified.
Well, everything's lush
You can
here.
look at these tomatoes and there ain't no drought.
Yeah. See those green tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the dark, they're shining their pretty little green faces. Boy, you've had a bumper crop of tomatoes. What would you estimate for this year so far?
I would say so far,
Without exaggerating.
without exaggerating, you know me, I don't exaggerate. Generally, I exaggerate on the low side.
Right.
True story. There have easily been between 400 and 500 pounds of tomatoes come out of here.
Yeah, I would agree.
Easily. Look at me. Easily 400 and 500 pounds. And they're still producing. Look at that tomato.
Pretty nice.
My light was bright. You can see those dudes 5 foot away. But these are the batteries I've used all year. Alright, let's look one more time. Over in this direction. They seem to like the Amish paste.
That's my favorite.
My favorite cannon tomato, that's for certain.
I think the flavor is just the best.
Well, it's a more meaty tomato. Yep, there's a little bitty one.
Look at that. I cannot get over how well it shows up.
Yep, but if he was bigger, that would really show up. Ew, that's a little too close. He squirted in my lips. Sucker, now it tastes like tomato juice.
You're a mess.
I squeezed him too hard and popped.
You're a mess. Well, you're not going to get any.
We don't waste anything.
You're not
here.
getting any kisses from me tonight.
Yeah, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. I'll brush my teeth. It'll be okay. Well, it's kind of a good sign that I'm only seeing the little ones and then that one big one. Oh, there's that other one that I dropped. Okay, you're good down there. You just stay down there.
You better pick him up. He'll be crawling up there.
All right.
You should see your shoes.
Oh, I see them. That's my.
You got your dancing shoes on. Well, you know, they say that early bird gets the worm, but you know what? In some cases, the night owl gets the worm.
Yeah.
I think you got the most worms, babe.
Yep.
What kind of worm would you call that? Is that a tobacco worm or?
Well, it's basically a
hornworm.
It's a tomato hornworm is what the common name is, but it's also that old tobacco worm too. I remember being a little boy. Neighbors would come by and get all of us, get a whole truckload of us. And we'd go to the tobacco field and we'd make $2 a day picking those worms off of tobacco. Yeah. Now we would get a good cold Dr. Pepper to go with that.
Hey, not a bad
$2
deal.
a day. I know that sounds crazy. I picked zucchini squash for $5 a day. I only did that a day or two, let me tell you. Them zucchini, they bite. See, when they're little like that, only their head and tail are actually going to glow. But I need to look over here because I know I've got one or two over here. I found one the other day. Look at those big old ripe tomatoes.
And those are the bucket ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
The ones grown in a bucket.
Tubs. Look at all those ripe tomatoes. I didn't get over here and pick today. I should have. There's another one. Yep, it's a good thing that they're small. And a lot of times on those large ones, if you let them, if they get by you and you don't find them and they keep getting big and bigger, you'll see them with little white eggs all over the back. And they'll just be stuck everywhere on that worm. See, there's where a big one's been decimating my tomato. Boy, I'm after you now. You messed up when you got my tomato. But those white eggs that you see on those hornworms, that's what you call a blue wasp. And a wasp lays their eggs on that horned worm, and as those eggs develop, the larvae eats the worm. So it kills the worm. All right, let's go to the other side. Take a real quick look. Let's see where you're at. Now, caterpillar, show yourself. Talking about tomatoes. Good grief. It has definitely been a bumper crop year. And that drought that we went through for the first few weeks in June and halfway through July, if it wasn't for the drip system, irrigation system, ours would have probably not done near as good. I know they wouldn't have. But since we've had some rain, they're just out of control. Just out of control everywhere. So needless to say, we should be picking ripe tomatoes all the way to frost. You see where they've been eating.
Yeah, it doesn't take them long to totally decimate a stem.
One of them large ones like that we first seen.
Show that stem again where it's been eaten off.
They could eat half of this plant.
They're gnawers,
in a
aren't
day.
they?
Yeah. Yep. I don't see any more, which is a good thing. My light was bright enough you could spot them from over here.
Yeah, we'll have to get some new batteries in there.
Yep. And I would suggest if there's any homesteaders that's having problems with your tomato hornworm, you can either use a blacklight and find them at night. You can find them at the top of the plants early in the morning. They are much harder to see. But you can also spray with BT. And the BT will take care of the hornworm, and it also take care of the armyworm, the one that gets in your tomato, the little black striped one that gets in your tomato and runs your tomatoes. So I may apply an application of that here in a few days. I haven't seen a lot of armyworms, but I've seen 2 or 3, and I've picked them out. But boy, that's something you got to stay on top of, because those dudes produce rapidly. A whole lot like rabbits. Or probably a lot worse than rabbits, actually. But anyway, we found a couple.
Yeah, good job on that, Mick.
We'll look again tomorrow night.
All right. Looking forward to it.